hit it. How's everybody doing? With 4.1.1 finally here, we are seeing more changes coming, tweaking the way us miners do things, where we go, and what we use. God damn, I'm excited. In today's video, I'm going over the main changes we will be watching out for, and then sharing with you my potential setups for this new wave of mining. Let's get into it. In 4.1.1, the trick to stack bags has been eradicated. The max SCU on a mole is stock at 96, max on a prospector is 48, using mole bags, and max on the Golem is 32. As much as a buzzkill this is, it actually makes the Golem even more desirable over the prospector if you prefer mining in the smaller ships due to how nimble this thing is. It also can break some pretty hefty rocks. Another change, ship markers are staying much more persistent now. And the way it's been working for me is I leave a ship somewhere floating around, I see the marker. I leave a second ship somewhere else, I see both markers. This is a damn nice quality of life upgrade for us. Now, aside from those fixes, they've also fixed the mining bag's snap points, making them actually lock into the cargo grids the way they are supposed to. That includes the freight elevator. The Argo and Misc bags have also been fixed. Now they snap on top of each other. The 16 SCU Golem box has no issues either. Because of this, it has made putting bags away and taking them out of inventory much easier, and that brings us to the main reason you will be doing this now. You can now refine bags that you place in your warehouse. You can also still refine from bags that are still attached to your ship. You can take some bags off and split your order to turn your one big order into two smaller to make your Farron or Dynex orders refine faster. This also means that someone in a ship that isn't a mole or prospector can now steal your bags, take them to the station and refine them, cashing out on all your hard work. Piracy. If I had to guess, this means that pirates finally have miners back in their crosshairs. You're gonna have to start thinking smart and taking more precautions when going out mining. I plan to do a more dedicated video on that topic, but I wanted to put it out there that things aren't going to feel as safe as they used to prior to this patch for all miners. Another awesome quality of life bonus they added is the ability to quantum jump directly to our ships. So park your cargo ship as far out of the way as you want to really stay safe out here. Another change in the new patch is the addition of over 60 abandoned mining bases and asteroid fields across Stanton, and a hell of a lot more of the same added to Pyro as well. Once again, these are all a mixed bag of minerals, but if you enjoy asteroid mining, some of these locations yield more than others. And you know what? I was getting a hell of a lot of scans in each one. Go check them out and enjoy your feast. On to the next segment, the one that excites me the most. Multi-crew mining operations will be a lot more feasible and streamlined. These changes also make solo mining a hell of a lot better. They may have stolen from us the ability to stack bags, but now we have options. Now, if you want to, you can stay out mining for much longer times and spend a lot less time flying back and forth refining if you so choose to. Personally, I have been going out with the Caterpillar filled with mold bags, the Taurus filled with mold bags, and I plan to go out with the C2 as well, filled with mold bags, for more long-term mining that I want to do. These cargo ships are my mini mobile mining operating bases, also known as mobs. TM. Now the mole has 8 bags, a prospector has 4, a golem has 2. Just make sure you bring enough spares with you to restock a few times, but you can essentially turn your cargo ship into a mob for yourself to dump all your filled bags at and refill up with empties. Remember, currently you don't have to buy the bags. It wouldn't be financially viable if we had to at the price they are currently selling at. So for now, you just bring out your mole, take the bags off, do some damage real quick and repair. Repeat the process over and over to fill your hangar with bags. This works for all the mining ships. Now if you plan to do this, the only negative I can see is you are going to have to make sure any quant you find, you bring back to a station to refine immediately. Otherwise, even when you take that bag off, the clock will continue to wind down, blasting your ass back to your last regen station. Now personally, this makes this style of mining even more feasible in Pyro and will be where I'm doing my long-term mining operations. Now with that being said, we all know how Pyro refineries are all spread out. Once you fill your bags though, nothing is stopping you from dropping off your bags at the local rest stop stations instead of the major stations for safekeeping. Hell, you could even just fly back to Gaslight and drop off your bags in whatever ship you're in, repair, come back and get back to work. Pick up those bags later in a cargo ship to refine. Now finally onto the setups. I am personally going out solo mole. For that, I'm running a Helix 2, an Impact 2, and a Hofstad 2. Helix is only for the massive rocks, so I've been running 2 Surges and a Stampede module. For the Impact 2, Riger C3, a Surge, and a Stampede module. And for the Hofstad, I'm running a Riger C3 and a Stampede. I'm bringing them along with Riger C3s for the majority of rocks I find, but when I need to gain more power, I swap that for a Surge from my backpack. For the Prospector, I have the same mindset. I don't like easy, and I don't like passing up rocks that I could have broken if I were to use a different laser head. It haunts me in my dreams. For this reason, I only run the Helix 1 on the Prospector, and I would opt to run it with a Surge and Stampede as well. Keep in mind, gadgets are even more important with the Prospector, and so are the extra modules. Bring with you extra Surges, Stampedes, and hell, even a Riger C3 to get that power just right. Also bring with you a Bormax gadget, a Wave Shift, and a Sabir gadget for the times you need either to cluster the rocks up better, lower instability, grow that green zone window, or lower the resistance. As for the Golem, I'm also going full bore. Personally, I am running a Surge and a Stampede. Check out my video on the Golem here if you want a complete rundown on this little mining missile. Now considering you have the limitation of not being able to bring a box with you on the Golem or have any internal cabin for the Golem, you will have to run away from the ship to drop down your modules. When you get something like 15 meters away, you'll be able to drop your modules. The Golem can be a pain in the ass to change the modules on, so keep that in mind. Opting for a Riger C3 or 2 is also a very viable option. If you're going out with a cargo ship like I mentioned before, you have a bunch of options to choose from. Rule 1 though, before we dive into it, make sure you bring a 1 SCU box at least of some extra gadgets, modules, and drinks. Now even though I can use most cargo ships, I'm sure I will land on using something like the Raft or the Taurus in the long run after getting a feel for it more to keep that RS signature down and be more low-key. That will probably be my most common setup. I was able to fit 16 mole pods in the Taurus and it was relatively easy to deal with. Now for bigger operation or more people involved, I would obviously bring out the C2 or something more substantial like the Ironclad once we get it. Anyways, I suggest you maneuver smarter than you did before and make sure you are picking a great dead drop spot for your cargo ship far and away from where most pirates would even think to look. That means dropping in from OMs or backing out mid-QT and find a nice quiet spot to lay your head. The universe is a big place. Once you prepare your bag swap station, backspace back, or menu back to your home and come back in your mining ship. Once you are ready to refine, remember, it's going to set it up as one massive order if you put all those bags away. So to combat this, put only the bags you want to refine for that specific order in the warehouse at that time. I will most likely be lazy, and since I'm not lacking currency, do one big massive order instead, like the orders we were seeing with the bag stacking meta. Now, I think I just about covered all bases here. Now may the lords of Quant bless you with a bountiful plunder of juicy Quantanium, Stellaron and Rhycite rocks, and don't forget, if you see me out there in the black, pop a flare for me.